The entire story of the Warring States period centers around one man. Not Shin, not Sei, but Riboku. That's right, this whole era spanning hundreds of years leading up to the eventual unification of China is all about him. Introduced to us during the Battle of Baiyo as a simple spectator, to now being established as a man of great caliber able to defeat the likes of Oki and Gekishin, while single-handedly preventing the destruction of his kingdom of Shao. As the largest obstacle in Qin's way, Riboku's constant attempts at foiling Qin's plans represents the history of China itself, refusing to disrupt the status quo and recognize its inevitable unification. What do I mean by this? What is the significance of the rise and fall of Riboku, and what does it tell us about the broader messaging of Kingdom as a whole? Today, we're going to explore the lore of the intricate rise and fall of the ultimate villain in this series, the most unpredictable and vexing character in Kingdom, blessed with the God-given ability of unmatched foresight, who alone is driving the direction of the entire story. Riboku is a character that was born to be the war to overcome in Yasuhisa Hara's story, in the world of Kingdom. And so we're going to break down how Riboku's conception elevated the world of Kingdom to something so beautiful. 12 years ago, the death of Oki ushered in a brand new era, as Oki's words rang true that the strongest of the current era would always be eventually bested by the strongest of the next. What's crazy is that Oki, seen as a great man with the most influence in all of China, was well and truly defeated by none other than the man whose China's wars would revolve around as the center all the way to now. However, at the same time, a whole new generation of strong up-and-comers, spearheaded by a young boy named Shin, were coming onto the scene, driven by these final words of Oki. As Oki said, so too will the passage of time complete its course in today's age, meaning Riboku will eventually be defeated, and thus, with the fall of Riboku will come the rise of Shin, who will finally shatter the very struggle Oki described and believed by many as eternal, through the means of unification. For this picture to be painted out for us, the reader, clearly, it seems the need for a character like Riboku was born. Before Riboku, there wasn't really a hint of Kingdom's world being larger than life, with all of its early agendas not being too great of consequence. Furthermore, not only do we as the reader understand this as Riboku's role in the world of Kingdom, he is also viewed as this direct opposition to the one answer that will change China's history forever. And the need to rid Riboku throughout the story has been emphasized to personify this previously mentioned eternal struggle. It just won't go away. Since Riboku was only really solidified as a staple character after Oki's death, it seems his character was formed in response to the need for a superstar per se, to drive the direction of China. After Oki died, he was the superstar of his own time. But really, it also seems the creation of Riboku actually took care of two birds with one stone. First, there was the newfound problem of not having a worthy opponent for the new generation soldiers tearing through the Middle Kingdom. More specifically, Shin, chasing the status of greatest general under the heavens in the wake of Oki's final words. This problem was more clearly expressed by Renpa, but what if someone like Riboku came onto the scene? Now that worthy opponent existed, someone to defeat and attain that essential step toward greatest general under the heavens. After all, the easiest way to gain noteworthy status in such a tumultuous period is to have a big bad, a major threat so major that the entire country would have to take notice. Therein lies Riboku. Considering his title as the most dangerous man in all of China, it seems that the need for an insurmountable opponent was a very likely motivation for Hara creating this character, simply to allow the main character to have his classic final life-changing opponent. This was obviously extremely necessary for Shin, as we can literally see today that Shin, who previously was a tiny but growing threat, has finally reached the stage where all it takes is for Riboku to know that Shin is fighting on the same battlefield, and his entire game plan is changed to revolve around removing him from the board. That is actually already reeking of extreme emotional gravity for us, the reader. So reason number one for Riboku, Hara needed to create a character in large part just to create the history-changing opponent that held enough gravity for this new wave of rising stars to defeat and prove their impact is real. We can also see that throughout this Warring States period, literally any time a new antagonist or threat hit the scene, they are immediately compared to Riboku, or at least mention him. Don't even get me started with Glaze Home. Gahome, the very first time we meet him, the first thing he mentions is Riboku. Heck, every time we see him, he mentions Riboku. Not just mention, it doesn't stop there. Bro is creaming and doing backflips on it. Renpa, as soon as Oki was defeated, instantly recognizes Riboku's prowess and never counts him out on doing something game-changing, even if it's against all odds. With new threats introduced every arc, they seem to wave the white flag when it comes to Riboku, even agreeing to join a coalition only on the basis that it would be led by Riboku. Truly S-tier dick riding. But the second major goal accomplished by creating Riboku was that now Chen actually had a clear and significant military opponent that absolutely needed to be crushed to ever dream or even have a glimpse of achieving what they desired. Gahome of Wei, Koan of Chu, Ordo of Yan. The defeat of these existing threats would not matter in the slightest without the defeat of Riboku. Their gravity outmatched and crushed in the light of the threat that Riboku represents to Qin, and honestly, the history and future of China itself, as no individual threat possesses the clout of defeating someone as great as Oki. Therefore, the creation of Riboku was essentially a brilliant 2-in-1 devised by Hara. Did you enjoy this video? Check out my other videos. Be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to stay updated on my latest videos. I appreciate you guys.